Hey guys, I'm Rose Lazo with the Quarter Team and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I have a special treat for you. I have Geoffrey. He is my preferred lender and we help clients here in Galveston and throughout Galveston County and into Houston. And so I am so excited. We're going to be talking about opportunities for you if you're looking to buy a home, some encouragement. And so let's get started. Geoffrey,
Awesome.
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you, Rose. Thanks for having me here today. My name is Geoffrey Weil. I work for Willow Bend Mortgage. My family and I have been here in Galveston for going on 8 years now. And we are in the business of taking care of homeowners and potential home buyers and getting you into these properties throughout the entire state of Texas. I've had the privilege of working with Rose these past few years, and we've had such a great opportunity to help so many clients, from everybody from a first-time home buyer, walking you through the process for the first time, all of the uncertainties and the ins and outs, to the multiple investor that's done this a bunch of times and is just looking for some great service and clarity. And then, of course, my favorite is these unique properties here in Galveston, anything from your vacation rentals.
Yeah, vacation rentals all the way through beautiful beach houses.
That's right. And one of my personal favorites is working on renovation loans. And Rose and I are actually doing one right now.
We're doing one right now.
Yep. And that's a really great opportunity because you will hear that a lot out there, that there are these loans that are available to do a renovation and encompass everything together. But they seem to be this elusive item out there. We love doing these. These are our bread and butter. And so I'm excited to be here today and talk about this.
Yeah, absolutely. So first and foremost, I wanted to touch for our clients out there who are first-time home buyers. Let's talk a little bit to them first. I wanted to talk about buying here in Galveston versus on the mainland in Texas City. What's really the price difference?
Sure.
What does that look like and why?
Good question. And we get this a lot, right? There's specifically some challenges that we face here on the island, being unique, close to the water. And the biggest of all is that the majority of the properties on the island require additional insurance. And that's a flood insurance, of course, right? And so what we find is that all in all, really in a nutshell, is that you seem to be able to get a little bit more bang for your buck, right, when you head off the island. The beauty of being on the island is that you are on the island, right?
The island.
Yep. And so as they say in real estate, it's all about location, 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 right? And so what I love about Texas City and Lamarck is that it's like a 15-minute drive over the causeway and you're here.
Yeah.
And so I think it's really a give and take. It comes down to the property itself, right? Is that, does this property work for us? And does the price point make sense? And what we love to do is, and I tell all my clients this, I say, why don't you find a couple properties online, 4 to 5 properties, a few in Texas City, a few in Galveston, send them over to me and I'll provide you a total cost analysis where we'll show you side by side. This is this property, this is this one, this is the difference in your monthly payment, and this is the difference in your down payment, what you would need to bring to the table. And as a first-time home buyer, what we want to really focus on is making sure that you have all the clarity that you need through this process. There's all these nuances and uncertainties. And one of the things that I get a lot from a first-time home buyer is, I don't even know where to begin. Right?
Yeah.
And that rightfully so. I mean, when I got into this industry, that was the same place I was. It's very daunting. It's a brand new environment.
Yeah.
And so you're left with a lot of questions. And so the first thing I like to do with a first-time home buyer is a simple conversation.
Yeah.
And I found that in our initial conversation with a first-time home buyer, I can alleviate a huge percentage of that uncertainty.
Yeah.
And bring our comfort level down and be able to, like I always like to say, is just take a breath, right?
Yeah.
You know? and the best thing that I like to hear from my first-time home buyers is, gosh, I feel so much better now, right?
Yeah.
And that's the goal, because this is a big thing. And I said, for us regular folks, right, this is going to be the biggest purchase of our lives, is our home.
Is our home.
And so, really, you got to feel comfortable about it. You got to feel good about it. And that's what we want to bring to the table for the first-time home buyers.
Yeah, absolutely. One of my favorite things working with Geoffrey is that, especially for all of my clients, but especially for my first-time home buyers, is that when you initially say, hey, I'm interested in buying a house, my initial thing to do is say, okay, hey, how about we meet face-to-face? Because I'm going to go over my buyer's presentation. I'm going to go over every aspect of what it is going to be like to purchase a home, so that there's no surprises for you in the first 7 days when you have to get an inspection or turn in earnest money on time, or any of that information, right? So all of that gets, laid out in front of you so that you're completely aware of what I do, what the timeline looks like, and all of that. But alongside of that, you meet Geoffrey in an email or via text, and we go over just kind of introducing you to him. And then he, in return, then goes and talks to you separately, goes over your financials, does all the work on the front end, so that we know whether or not you're going to be approved. And if you're not, then that's still okay, because then we help you get through the process so that in 3-6 months, we can get you under contract.
Yeah, well said. And really, it's about creating the pathway that, whether it's right now or later, we want to get you on the pathway to homeownership, because at the end of the day, as we know, it's one of the best investments that we can do, right? Yeah. Is purchasing a home. And I would encourage you as a first-time home buyer, is that here's the exciting thing about this, and this is what I love about this industry. I've been in sales for quite a long time, and this was what I found was a very unique type of sales role in real estate. Is that in the beginning process, it is such a low pressure exploratory phase that we go through. There is no financial obligation initially as you explore your opportunities, and I love that for the clients, because that's if you are a first-time home buyer and you are having some hesitation because, like, well, I don't want to invest any money in this yet, and I'm afraid of, what are my numbers going to look like? I don't think I'm ready. Here's the best part about it. You don't have to be ready. This part is just getting everything out in front of you to know what your pathway is, where you stand. And we can have a brief 20-minute conversation where we discuss your finances, where you're at. I can pull a soft pull on your credit, so you have no dings or no inquiries on your credit. And you can walk away from the first phase with a bunch of knowledge about your own finances, your process, and have, as I mentioned, zero financial obligation, such low pressure, and be able to walk away and say, okay, well, this sounds good. Now I kind of know where I stand. And I think one of the big daunting things is that is a part of being a first-time home buyer, is like, well, I'm gonna get started on this when I feel a little bit more ready, when I feel a little bit more comfortable. The problem with that is that if you got with me 3-6 months ago, I could have put you on a pathway to where now, even without any financial obligation from your end, when you actually now are ready to take this first step, you will actually be ready.
Yeah, that's so true. And we have clients right now that we're preparing for purchase for the summer, for the end of the year. We're already working with individuals on making sure that they're paying off their cars and stuff like that. And it's great because we know that at the end of the year, they are going to start looking, and they're going to be ready. There's no hesitation, like you said. We'll be ready to start looking at houses and enjoying the process.
That's right. Yep. And I can just tell you is that, if you have any hesitation, and you have any concerns, I hope that, even just hearing this can help you understand that in the beginning, really just set that aside and take that first step, right? Because taking that first step towards exploring your own process is going to put you in alignment to where you want to be.
Yeah. So. Now that we've kind of talked about first-time home buyers, can you tell them a little bit about the difference between FHA and
conventionals?
Yeah, and conventionals. Yeah.
Those are the two big ones, right? And so as a first-time home buyer, I always like to mention to our clients that there's going to be a lot of noise out there, right? And especially from folks that have purchased homes before, right? And I think the key piece on this is I always like to ask, when did you purchase your home, right? Because as y'all remember, we had a huge financial collapse in 2008 in the housing market. And there was very unique legislation that was passed in 2010 called the Dodd-Frank Act. Mm-hmm. And when this legislation was passed, the entire process for lending changed, mm-hmm. really in protection and in favor of the home buyers, right? It's designed to put a home buyer, these were to be able to put a home buyer in place to feel confident and safe moving forward over a 30-year process, right? That this makes sense and you're not going to be in a bad spot 5 years down the road, like we saw. And so one of the things, and just to touch on that, is that as a first-time home buyer, really the only difference between a conventional loan and an FHA loan is that when you put 20% down on a conventional loan, you don't have to carry something called mortgage insurance, also known as PMI, private mortgage insurance. And other than that, what I have really found is that if you have less than perfect credit, okay, and you want a little bit more wiggle room, a little more ability on your purchasing power, and you are a first-time home buyer attempting to purchase a home with a loan amount less than $524,000 roughly there, mm-hmm. You're going to 99% of the time fit into an FHA loan. And folks will say, and this is what I hear most commonly from a first-time home buyer is, well, I've heard that I have to carry mortgage insurance with FHA. Well, guess what? If you don't put 20% down on your conventional loan, you have to carry mortgage insurance. Mm-hmm. I heard you have to carry mortgage insurance for the whole life of the loan with FHA. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's true. But guess what? As you proceed on the tenure of your loan and the home ownership, you have the ability to refinance your loan. And when you refinance, you can refinance out of an FHA mortgage and into a conventional mortgage. Because once your loan to the value of mm-hmm. your home reaches an 80% threshold, you can drop eventually your mortgage insurance for the rest of the life of your loan. And so as let's say you were carrying an FHA mortgage for 10 years and you're kind of getting to that point now where you're ready to have this level of an 80% threshold. Yeah. We refinance you out, maybe possibly even get a lower rate, drop your mortgage insurance and go into a conventional loan for the rest of your loan. And so kind of to wrap that up is that FHA sometimes gets a bad rap. Yeah. And really, I think it's what I like to call it's just an innocent ignorance where it's just a knowledge thing where, hey, it's just like myself, before I got in this industry, I didn't really know the difference between the two. Mm-hmm. And so this is an example of where, hey, we have a quick conversation, we get some clarity on that, and then we move forward on that. Yeah. And as a first-time homebuyer, are there scenarios where you will fit into a conventional loan? Sure, absolutely. And I'm all about clarity. I like to show them side by side. This is why an FHA makes sense. This is why a conventional would make sense, and we look at them together.
I like that you said that because you have a really amazing program, system that you can show the clients. Even they could be on the phone and they'll be able to log in to their own little portal.
A lot of lenders will send out initially when you're doing a pre-qualification. We are required to send out especially after going under contract, we send out a loan estimate, right? Yeah. And that's very traditional, or also known as a fee sheet. Mm-hmm. And really, it's a piece of paper. It's a document, right? And in today's world of technology and finance, we've upgraded that now. And I'm still waiting for a lot of lenders to catch up. And so we'll take that as a little advantage for us. But we do have a really great presentation. It's a digital presentation that we provide where we can actually show up to 4 different scenarios side by side. We can show you the difference on the monthly savings. Mm-hmm. We can show you the difference over annual savings, even over multiple years, right? And I think the numbers speak for themselves because somebody can tell you their opinion on something. Hey, this is what I think. But until you actually see it side by side, that's where you're going to be able to make the decision yourself.
And you as the buyer gets to choose, hey, I prefer this scenario over that scenario, or,
That's right.
And whatever fits best for you.
That's right. And for us, really, at the end of the day, you're in charge, right? And we want to help navigate you through it, but it's your decision. And for us as a lender, whether you go with a conventional loan or you go in an FHA loan, it's not going to make any difference to us.
Yeah.
We just want to put you in the best position. And so that kind of touches on those two different loans.
Yeah.
And happy to dive into this a little deeper with you, but I feel like that kind of covers it.
And everyone's finances are different.
That's right.
So everyone's options will look different.
Correct.
There's a thing that you said earlier where you said people who have bought houses will give you advice, or parents or uncles or many different people will give you advice. And what will happen is that you will be sitting and waiting to buy a home because you're listening to people who haven't bought a home in 30 years.
Or have a completely different financial profile than you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. I love that.
Yep.
Yes. Because that's so true. And what will fit for them will not fit for you. And maybe what will fit for you will not fit for them. So the first thing that you need to do is always, get connected with the lender to find out where you are financially. And as your agent, I will always do that with Geoffrey.
That's right.
I'll try at least.
And God forbid, right? You're sitting there, as Rose said, you're listening to everyone around you. I'm going to wait, the market's not right now. I'm going to wait till I save up a little more money, wait till my job is, I have a little more time at this job. But if the initial phase that you go through is completely exploratory, right? And as I always like to say, very low pressure, and you can get all the information you need
up front for free
from the source.
Yeah.
Right. So we are a direct source lender, right? We connect directly to FHA, Fannie Mae, and Freddie Mac. This is what we do every single day. And I get it that the person that owns their home, that they purchased a home, but they purchased a home one time, right? And it's sometimes now they feel like they're the pro, right? But this is what we eat for breakfast, like we say, right? Yeah. So we're happy
That's so true.
Yeah.
I was at a convention at the Married on the Island convention, and I was talking to another person there, another vendor, and we were talking, and she got into the topic of real estate, and I went on for like a good 40 minutes. It's because it's what we eat, what we breathe.
That's right. It's a passion
eat and
too.
Breathe.
Yep.
Yeah, the market, the local market. We know all the ins and outs. You know all the people over at the city.
Yep, that's right. Yeah,
because that's what we do here.
And you'd be surprised, right, as a first-time home buyer, just how attainable it really is. And you think about it, and we look at this all the time. I mean, just doing some simple math here. Let's just say you're renting and you're paying $1,000 a month in rent.
On the island for a 2-bedroom, it's at least 17.
Right, and there you go. And so, and obviously, let's say like that. Let's say we are closer to $2,000, right, on a monthly rent. And if you're paying $2,000 a month, right, and you do this for even just for 1 year, right? Think about that, right? That's $24,000, right? $24,000 that you're never going to see again. It goes right into the pocket of a landlord, the owner of that property. But if that was your property and you owned it, and you were investing that $2,000 every month, it's going into your investment. And as the value of your home rises over the years, you will have a return on your investment on this money. And so the sooner you can get into even a starter home that is like, hey, this isn't my dream home, it's a starter home, you're not going to be paying rent anymore to a landlord, to their property. It's going into your investment. And maybe 5 years later down the road, now you're ready to really get that home that you want. Well, guess what? You're able to sell your home, get a return, and use that money towards your dream home.
Absolutely. And or if it's here on the island, you can rent it.
That's right.
And then go to use the money for a bigger home here on the island.
Correct.
Or you can Airbnb it. And the great thing is that we here have connections with all of the different type of companies that we can refer you to.
That's right. Yep.
I love that we were talking about earlier the investors
Sure.
portion.
Yeah.
Will you talk a little bit about that? Because we currently have a deal
Yeah.
that we're using in an investor,
That's right.
and we're helping an investor buy up some properties. And we've already gone through the first half of the purchase, and now we're working on the second half of the purchase, which I find so interesting.
Yep.
Can you talk a little bit about that for our investors out there?
Sure. Absolutely. Well, one thing that's exciting about Galveston and what we're seeing right now is that we do have a big surplus in the market at the moment, in the inventory.
Mhm.
And because of the surplus, it's creating a bit more of a competition with these sellers trying to sell their homes.
Yeah.
And so it is what it is. This is the shifts that we see in the market. We are seeing reduction in prices, and this is really becoming a opportunity for investors.
Yes, because I will just say, we last year, I think it was the last 3 deals we did in our team, we had buyers going to the table with only having to have put in less than $3,000 all in.
That's right.
You know, so when we say there's some big deals out there to be had, there are some big deals to be had.
And the big portion of that we were able to do when we have a buyer, bring such a little to the table, is when we can couple and this really, for those unique deals, those will be our primary residence buyers, because we're able to couple the seller contribution to cover your closing costs. And then on a first-time home buyer, we can use a down payment assistance program to alleviate your down payment. And then you're bringing just a portion. For the investors, what we're seeing is, hey, we all know, right, as investors, we're still having to bring our closing costs. But what we try to do a lot in this market is figure out a strategy to where, hey, as an investor, if I can get a deal at a lower price, have all my closing costs covered, and all I have to worry about is my down payment, hey, sounds like a great deal. And we're seeing that a lot right now.
Yeah.
And in particular, one of the things we're working on now is that we had an investor that came in who purchased some properties, cash on a few of them, and was left to finance the last one. And what we found is that the property needed quite a bit of work. And we see that in Galveston a lot.
Yeah.
And there's great opportunities. And hey, it's awesome when you have the capital as an investor to come in, purchase a home. Maybe you finance the first part of it, and then you have the capital to fix it up yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's not everybody.
Not everybody. That's right.
Not everybody can do that. And especially if they're just starting out, as an investor, this is such a wonderful program.
That's right.
Specifically for them.
And what we have right now, and I'll tell you the exact scenario, is that we found a property where it was being sold right around $100,000. It has the potential to be worth over $200,000 with roughly about $60,000 investment into it. So you're talking about instant equity of $40,000, right? Potentially even more once the appraisal's done. And we've done these many times, and especially here in Galveston, and we see this big swing, right? Because think of it this way, right? We see a seller selling the home under market because of the market that we're in. You come in, purchase a home under market, you pump some instant renovation into the home, and then be able to turn around and realize that this home is now worth significantly more than what you initially invested into it. And the program that we have, which is a conventional loan program, it just doesn't get utilized that much, allows you to finance in 100% of all of the renovation that you need to do. Mm-hmm. So you can purchase a home, take let's say, for example, the $100,000 price point, you roll in $60,000 in renovation, and now you have a total cost of $160,000. You're going to put your 20% down on that $160,000, and then everything else is financed in. And so on day one after closing, you're able to hand a contractor a check for $60,000 and say, "Hey, go to work." Versus, right, where you purchase a home and you say, "Hey, over the next few years, I'm going to put 10 grand into it. I'm going to get my bonus. I have a tax return coming, and I'll keep chipping away at this house." Mm-hmm. And the beauty that we see on this program is that you can get this work done, and in 6 months, a year from after you close, you could be in a position to either retain the property, rent it out, at the value that it deserves, or you could technically even turn around and sell it if you wanted to, and make that equity, instant equity return on the home.
Yeah, or you could just live in it.
That's right.
I think there is a scenario where we've had clients who have wanted to do this and live in the home.
You can do it for investment, and that's a big thing that's a really cool thing that you mentioned. I'm glad you did, is that renovation lending can be used for primary residence or for as an investor. The one thing, and then we're still trying to push Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac on this, is that for investors, it has to be a single unit at the moment for a renovation loan. But for a primary residence, you can purchase actually a multi-unit property up to 4 units and be able to renovate the project as well.
And that would be considered conventional or FHA?
That would be FHA. Yeah, an FHA renovation program.
So talk a little bit about that for our clients out there who have amazing credit, who want to live here on the island and want to have their home renovated to what they like.
Sure, absolutely. So what we found here is, and this is pretty awesome again, is that this product is so amazing because there's so many different ins and outs of this.
And it is specifically amazing here on the island.
That's right.
Because you have a lot of homes that need renovation, that are in amazing locations.
Yep, but just need work.
But just need a little bit of work.
And what we found is that, you look at it and you say, I have the down payment and the house is perfect. It's in the right area, but I don't have $100,000 to fix up this home to where it needs to be. And what we're seeing a lot is that investors do, right? And we see them come in and they'll turn these homes into these beautiful homes, and they'll either rent them out or sell them. And they're getting to have all the fun doing this, right? And what this product allows, it allows the true, even a first-time home buyer or even someone who's moving to the island. And again, it's like, hey, I've saved up, I've got a good solid down payment, but I just don't have extra capital, cash money, right, to put into a home. What this product allows you to do is, again, we take it's called the total acquisition cost. Mm-hmm. So we take a home, let's say a $250,000 home that's being sold. And we know that if you put $100,000 into this home, it would easily be worth the $350,000 of that total acquisition, potentially even more, right? Yeah. And man, too, that if you put $100,000 into this home, it would be your dream home. Yeah. You could have exactly what you want. Well, what this product allows you to do is think of it as one purchase, one loan, one purchase, one interest rate, one closing. No strings attached, no little, surprises. You think of it as that your mortgage is now going to be $350,000. That's going to be your mortgage. Yeah. And that may even be a price point. And obviously this is just a random number I'm using, but that would be a price point that you may be comfortable with. Hey, I was looking for a $350,000 home.
That's actually one of the ones that we're currently working on, is that it's at a $350,000 price point. They're considering adding 2 bedrooms. The price is at $200,000 is what the land and the houses will sell for. And easily we can put in another $50,000 to build out those bedrooms, and they can have exactly what they're wanting.
That's right.
And they're older individuals that don't want to have to do the work, that don't want to have to worry about it. They want to be living in their dream retirement home, their forever home. And
yep. And a couple things on this is really cool. It says, well, where do I live while they're fixing the home? Well, the great thing about this product is that if you have extensive renovations that you're doing, we can actually roll in during the time that they're working on your home. Your first couple mortgage payments, we can roll them into your loan, so you don't have to double dip. So now you can stay where you were. Maybe you're on a month-to-month, or you're staying with family, or your landlord is fine with you, until it's time to vacate. And while your home is being worked on, you're not actually having to pay any money towards the home.
That is so incredible.
It's so cool. And that's one of my favorite things about this product, is that it doesn't allow you to have to be paying a rent and mortgage at the same time. Mm-hmm. And sometimes the renovations are not as extensive. Can I live in the home while they're renovating it? Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, sometimes they just are, like you said, adding an addition.
Or completely gutting the kitchen and adding in,
bathroom.
Or doing siding.
Yep. And that's what's great about this product is that, yes, you can live in the home while they're renovating it. And you can start that on day one after closing.
Yeah.
And the best part about it is that even if you're financing in $100,000, your down payment, let's say we're doing an FHA, it's only 3.5% of the total acquisition, right? And you'd be surprised if you think about it, 3.5% is not a whole lot. So when you're putting a down payment, you won't even see a significant jump from 250 to 100, adding 100,000 to 350 total on your down payment. You can have access to $100,000 for a few extra $1,000 up front on your down payment. And when you look at your mortgage payment, at the end of the day, your mortgage payment is going to be that 350 mark, right? And so this is a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. The rate doesn't change. Can you refinance it? 100%. You can refinance it into a traditional FHA mortgage if rates were to drop. Mm-hmm. You could refinance it into a conventional mortgage. Yeah. And so the flexibility is there. Keep in mind, these loans are designed for a primary residence buyer in the United States. So there's protection built around these. Yeah. These are for the advantage. These are not a product that's out there that is an advantage towards the bank or towards a lender. These are designed, they're government-backed programs to help buyers live in a home as a primary residence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so. Absolutely. I love that. Now, I want to talk about for those people who are moving to the island.
Sure.
What does that look like in regards to how they would work with you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest thing of all is getting your full transparency up front, right? What I always like to tell folks is like, we don't want to have anybody have a sticker shock kind of moment, right? And so let's have a conversation up front. Let's figure out expectation. Where's your price point at? What are you looking for? And that's the beauty of living here on the island and working with clients for many years here, knowing the ins and outs of the unique insurances that are involved, right?
And the locations too. If I'm not mistaken, it's Denver court that doesn't require the
flood insurance. There are certain unique neighborhoods, that there are neighborhoods, believe it or not, in Galveston, that you are not required to carry flood insurance. If you are coming from outside of the greater Houston area, moving to Galveston, one thing that's unique about this area is we do carry a supplementary insurance called windstorm and hail insurance. Yeah. And it is all part of your mortgage that we roll that in for you. We have great local providers that have access to some of the best rates around, and we can help navigate you through that, because that's one of the daunting things as someone who's coming to this area. Oh man, we're coming into Hurricane Alley and we got to carry this insurance and this. We're never going to be able to afford to live there. Look, we help the everyday person every day be able to purchase it. Mm-hmm. And we can help you navigate through that. And so if you are interested in that, what we like to provide is something called a total cost analysis. So that before you ever even go step a foot into a home to look at a home, we can give you a true analysis of how much are you looking at for your overall monthly payment all in, and then what is going to be your total investment, down payment, and cash to close.
And to kind of close out, one of the things I want you to know as a buyer or even as a seller, like we work very closely on making sure that we're upfront with numbers. But more than that is when we go to make an offer, I'm consulting with Geoffrey to make sure that I can get the most out of that offer that we possibly can. The things that are going to be required per the mortgage to see if the seller will pay for. There's just so many different things in a negotiation that it's good to have a partner like Geoffrey who's going to be able to say, oh, you know what, we need, I would say about at least 11 grand in concessions, and believe it or not, here on the island, that's so doable. That is such a doable number. So just keep in mind that as you are starting the process, the first thing you need to do is connect with an agent, and then we'll get you connected with Geoffrey and have you get that just numbers.
That's right.
Get the understanding, clarity,
Yep.
the understanding of where you are, so that you're not wondering. And if you have always wanted to buy a home and just don't know where to start, or have anxiety around it, just know that we are here to help you.
That's right.
And that is our joy. Like I say this all the time, is that my whole career, even prior to real estate, was helping people. And I get a lot of joy out of seeing that family get their keys
That's right.
and getting the sign. I bought my house today kind of sign. And I know that that's the same for you.
Big time. And I can't, we, over the holidays, my little 12-year-old had us go around and ask all the adults what you wanted to do when you grew up, right?
Yeah.
What did you want to be? And I'll be honest with you, I never thought I wanted to be a mortgage lender, right? I didn't sit there as a 10-year-old and say, I'm going to be a mortgage lender one day. And even when I got into the industry, I wasn't really sure what to expect and what it was going to be like. Little did I know, like we talked about, right? This is the biggest purchase of our lives. And when I started to see folks get into these homes, especially our first-time home buyers, and see the look on their face, like, I'm a homeowner now.
Yeah.
I thought, oh man, like
this house belongs to me. I can put a pool in the back.
Yeah. And that's what, and I realized I fell into such an awesome career, and it is so rewarding.
It is.
It can be challenging at times,
Absolutely.
Right? But it is so rewarding, and we love helping people do this. And so again, the thing I love about this is that we really are in the beginning stages. It's very low pressure, and we just want to help you take your first glance into this, and any way we can be of help to you, just let us know. So.
Yeah. And the great thing is that I think we've talked about this before, is that we are luxury agents, but luxury is not a price point. It's a service. And
That's
so
right.
Whether we help our $1 million buyers or help a $200,000 buyer, the service is the same. Because we believe in excellence.
Yep.
And so with that, I'm going to say thank you, Geoffrey, for joining me.
Absolutely.
That's so funny that you said that what did you want to be when you grew up? I wanted to be a pop star / FBI agent. So like during the day I would be a FBI agent, and then at night I'd like throw my concerts.
Sure.
But
there you go. Hey, that's a great combo right there. Isn't it cool as a kid, the way we look at. That's what they say, man. We all need more childlike minds help us get through this crazy life, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And now I help people.
That's it. Right on. I love it. Awesome.
Bye, guys. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.
Awesome. Thank you.
That was it.
Perfect. Okay. Beautiful. Great work, Rose. You're so awesome.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, really
that
appreciate
was great.